SVG-TV News headlines sponsored in part by Flow.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 350 local anywhere calls and texts. With the always-on prepaid plans, all for $24. Keep your number when you switch to St. Vincent's most reliable network. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
In headlines, groundbreaking ceremony held for Royal Mill SVG Resort and Residence. Some 200 Vincentians expected to be employed during the construction phase. TNT Chamber of Industry and Commerce says it is time the government face the facts and accept the country is facing a crime crisis. First case of deadly Chinese virus discovered in the US as fears mounts in China about the possibility of a deadly epidemic. And in sports, Windward Islands Volcanoes coach regrets enforcing follow-on in their match against Jamaica Scorpions. These and other stories coming up in SVG-TV's Evening News and Sports.
SVG-TV News headlines sponsored in part by Flow.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 350 local anywhere calls and texts. With the always-on prepaid plans, all for $24. Keep your number when you switch to St. Vincent's most reliable network. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Good evening and welcome to SVG-TV's News and Sports for Tuesday, January 21st, 2020. I am Bhavin Olver with the details. The government is said to be one step closer to its goal of transforming the East St. George constituency into a hub for tourism activities on mainland St. Vincent. This was noted at a groundbreaking ceremony today for the Royal Mill Resort and Residences at Rather Mill. The resort and residences is expected to help improve this country's room stock and create more employment opportunities for locals. Area Representative Camille Gonzalez said it is his vision for Caliaco and its environs to be a hub for tourism in SVG, and at today's groundbreaking ceremony, the Royal Mill Resort and Residences is one of the many steps being made for this to be a reality. He said the government's decision to transform the Canash Beach from a ship graveyard to a beautiful seafront property is one which allows for tourism developments to take place in the area.
5 years ago, that beach was a junkyard. There were derelict ships up and down the coast, run aground. It wasn't possible to swim there, and it certainly wouldn't be a particularly good view on this hill of the Royal Mill Hotel if the hotel guests and millionaire investors looked out of their window and saw a graveyard for ships. But we set about moving that graveyard, eliminating the ships, buying into Kelly Glass's vision for Canash Bay to be a center for yacht tourism in the Southern Caribbean. And all of a sudden, this location became that much more attractive. And we said that we would attract businesses to this area through attractive concessions and through selling the natural advantages of East St. George, its location, its intelligent and hardworking people, and its natural assets. And businesses began to come.
Minister Gonzalez said the resort and residences will be the most ambitious hospitality construction project anywhere in SVG.
There will be high-end villas arcing around the landscape and looking off towards the Grenadines. There will be a tower hotel in the middle of it. How many stories high is it, Adam? 12-story high hotel tower. And you can imagine it, looking up on the hill, coming from Calico or coming from Bayabu, driving around the corner and seeing this towering, gleaming white structure on a hill overlooking all of this wonderful landscape. And it is going to have a wonderful bar where the community can interact with the guests. It's going to have obviously parking and a whole host of ancillary facilities. And it is going to be a style of architecture that exists nowhere else in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I think Adam, who lives somewhere on Miami Beach, was inspired by the Miami style architecture, and he's bringing a little bit of that flavor here to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And
the Finance and Economic Planning Minister said the project will employ over 200 persons, with the majority expected to be locals. He added that after construction, there will be opportunities for persons seeking employment in the hospitality sector.
The 200 and odd people in construction hired, they tell me that 200 and odd people will be employed in the hotel itself, in the hospitality services. And in that regard, I would like to point out that currently there are 249 young Vincentians getting associate's degrees in hospitality, culinary arts, and tourism studies at the community college just down the road. And I know that many of them, at least the graduates from East St. George, will be looking forward to working here at the Royal Mill Hotel. We believe that this investment is a manifestation of what we're trying to do in the government, not only in East St. George, but across the country. As I said before, we didn't go out and find them. We didn't solicit them. We didn't bring them here. They found this opportunity on their own. But they found it because the government has created a conducive environment for investment in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And because we have cleaned up the environment in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And because we're educating a talented workforce in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
The SVG Chamber of Industry and Commerce is one of the most important private sector entities in SVG. And for 2020, the organization is looking at ways which it can grow stronger and have a greater impact on society. So says the Senior Vice President of the Chamber, Annette Mark, as she addressed the Chamber's first luncheon for the year. The Chamber, which has been in existence since the 1920s, plays an important role in the economy of SVG. At a business luncheon today, Mark said for 2020, they're looking at expanding their membership to include more private sector companies.
Well, I think that one of the things that the membership itself could actually assist us by themselves inviting people to our luncheon, inviting them to our meetings to see what the Chamber is about. The Chamber also has to be able to put in places that will encourage people to want to join the Chamber. Chamber of Commerce is in a number of islands or all over the world are entities, are private sector entities that have quite powerful, that affect even such things as policy, government policy, anything to do with trade, anything to do with export, anything to do with business. They're able to work on behalf of their membership. And our chamber, we need to become a little bit more vibrant, a little bit more out there, a little bit more, and this will change, and it will happen as our membership grows, as the economy grows, as things change within St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and as we attract hopefully more and more young people to the.
Referencing a similar organization in the United Arab Emirates, Mark said the organization wields tremendous power and influence, which the SVG Chamber should seek to emulate.
I mean, one of the things we struggle with is lack of financial resources. So the membership will help, and also doing other initiatives to build our financial resources. And the Chamber has been there before and can get there again. It has been at that point already. So in Ras Al Khaimah, for instance, the Chamber there has an exhibition center, and they have been very influential on trade, on growing the economy of the UAE. It is the second oldest chamber of commerce in the UAE. So they are powerful and they're influential. And, I mean, you know, even within our own Caribbean, there are a number of Chamber of Commerces that have that kind of influence. And it's a matter of time, you know, it's going to take work, it's going to take commitment from the membership and the executive and stuff, and we're going to get there eventually.
Mark said along with local networking, members can benefit from the relationship the SVG Chamber of Industry and Commerce has cultivated over the years.
I mean, any issues that you may have, in respect to trade, like, okay, for instance, we have just brought on board here as a benefit the British Chamber of Commerce, and these are the kind of people that we're going to be reaching out to and partnering. So we'll partner with other chambers around the Caribbean. So if there's something that a member wants to get into another island, do business, do trade, the chamber could intercede on their behalf in doing that. We're going to be doing some work with the Rasakaiman Chamber of Commerce. They will be helping us with training and some training programs and stuff like that. So members who are part of the chamber will benefit from that kind of thing. So yes, there is definitely a benefit being a member of the Chamber of Commerce, and those benefits will grow as the chamber becomes more and more vibrant.
The guest speaker at today's luncheon, hosted by the Chamber of Industry and Commerce, was British politician Lord Howard of Lymph. Lord Howard spoke on the topic, leveraging the business relationship between the British Caribbean Chamber of Commerce and the SVG Chamber of Industry and Commerce. He was among several CARICOM countries not invited to be a part of the meeting with the U.S. Secretary of State Michael Pompeo in Jamaica today. Speaking at the weekend, Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley, who is the current chairman of the CARICOM, made it clear that she could not agree to a meeting with anyone to which CARICOM members are not invited, and suggested if some are not invited, it is an attempt to divide the region. Since her address, several CARICOM leaders have spoke out in her support. At today's media conference, Prime Minister Dr. Rav Gonzalez said he fully supports the position taken by Prime Minister Mottley, noting that this is not the first time that the U.S. has selected some CARICOM leaders for a meeting.
And I have not just a sympathy, but I have a strong support for Mia Mottley, where she says that she couldn't, as chairman of CARICOM, accept an invitation to go where some countries are invited and some are not invited. I think that's the correct position, because it would appear as though you are dividing CARICOM. Having said that, it's the right of any sovereign country to invite who they want to invite, and for those sovereign countries to go. Though, just like the first time when President Trump invited similar persons, the only one I think is different there is St. Kitts. They have St. Kitts now, foreign minister, where they went to President Trump's residence in Florida. You remember that famous picture where all of them sit down in straight back chairs?
PM Gonzalez said he could not say why the U.S. chose to leave out SVG from the meeting, pointed out that SVG has taken certain positions when dealing with regional and international matters, which the U.S. opposes.
What I do know, the United States of America has a position in support of Guaido as the president of Venezuela, and St. Vincent and Grenadines says no. Don't see how Guaido can be imposed as president. President Maduro. I don't know, because of the Venezuela issue we have this difference. I don't know if it is because Antigua and Barbuda and St. Vincent and Grenadines presumptuous enough to say we're not supporting Almagro to be the Secretary General of the OAS. We voted for him last time, the first time, but that we are advancing the candidacy of Maria Fernanda Espinosa.
The Prime Minister, however, noted that SVG and the United States continue to have good relations. However, SVG will not always agree on certain matters that is supported by the current leadership in the U.S.
All I know is this, is that we are functioning in a straightforward manner within the four walls of the United Nations. And we are friends with the United States of America. We have friendly relations. But I reiterate this, that there is a section of the political leadership in the United States which seems to think that if you're not yes, yes, yes all the time with everything they say or do, somehow you're not with them. You remember that famous thing, you're with us or you're against us.
Meanwhile, Minister of Foreign Affairs Louis Straker says the region must work together to create global change. His comments came at the opening ceremony of the 26th meeting of CARIFORUM held on Friday at the Beachcombers Hotel. So Louis said as a group, member states can get involved in discussions on global matters such as migration and climate change.
Our members sit on the Security Council of the United Nations from time to time and are able to influence global developments. As I speak to you, St. Vincent the Grenadines, a small island developing states, is a member of the Security Council of the United Nations. Surely, as a group, we have the capacity to exert influence and to initiate change. As a group also, we must strengthen and deepen our involvement in global discussions on issues such as aid for trade and aid effectiveness, climate change, among others. We must raise our voices on matters related to migration, poverty reduction, and elimination, and we must be champion of the cause of women and vulnerable groups.
So Louis said it is time for the region to come together to also address issues related to trade and natural disasters.
Development goals are adopted and embedded within our national development plans. Despite limited resources, the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines has created both a Zero Hunger Trust Fund and a Disaster Contingency Fund, innovative and unique responses to our own sustainable development needs. We have mainstreamed and prioritized goals related to clean energy, economic growth, sustainability, climate action, and biodiversity. We, however, need to address issues of perpetual vulnerability of small and vulnerable economies in the region. The time has come for the region to focus global attention on trade imperatives of small states, whose insertion into the global trading system too frequently suffers from the effects of devastation from natural disasters.
Independent review launched into the circumstances surrounding the death of a pole yard fisherman. This and other stories coming up when we return with more local news. Stay with us.
The local news sponsored in part by Flow.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging. 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like. 350 local anywhere calls and texts. With the always-on prepaid plans, all for $24. Keep your number when you switch to St. Vincent's most reliable network. Switch to Flow. It only gets better. Star Limited is now located on the 3rd floor of the first St. Vincent Bank building. They have extended their range of products to furniture, including patio sets, closets, shoe casing, beds and mattresses, TV cabinets, and kitchen cupboards, just to name a few of their luxurious pieces, all at unbelievable prices. Don't just take my word for it. Check them out upstairs the first St. Vincent Bank building. And don't forget, they still have the best in windows, doors, burglar bars, rails, and vanities. C-Star Limited, where quality and style is our motto.
A funeral service should be one that you can be proud of, one that leaves lasting memories of your loved ones. And that's where you need the New Haven Funeral Home. We are proud of the quality and class we have brought to the industry. We are proud for having trained the very first certified embalmers in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We are proud of leading the way in terms of live streaming of funerals online so that your family members overseas could also be part of the celebration of life. We are constantly improving our services. We are driven by customer satisfaction, and we are proud of all that we do.
New Haven Funeral Home.
The Vallejo Experience. We cater for all of your psychological needs. We promote holistic wellness, balancing the mind, body, and spirit. I am Dr. Giselle Miller, CEO and founder of the Vallejo Experience. Contact us today. We are willing and ready to serve you.
Make no excuse. Claim those fitness goals with a little help from Quartz. Save big on home fitness equipment when you shop with up to 15% off. Plus, get a chance to win a free spin bike. Shop today and pay nothing until March with Quartz Ready Finance. Make no excuses. Shop and win. Only at Quartz. Bringing value home. Conditions apply.
Welcome back. An investigation has been launched into the death of Polia fisherman Arnott Hope, who was shot in the groin and subsequently died after undergoing corrective surgery at the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital. At a media conference today, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves said though there is no suggestions of any negligence by medical personnel here, he has however asked for an independent investigation to be carried out, which the hospital administration has agreed to.
There's no suggestion that there was any negligence, but because of certain circumstances, I had spoken to the chief medical officer and asked that she discusses the matter properly among the professionals and the ministry, and the services of a professor of surgery from the region has been engaged. There's a terms of reference as to this patient from the time he entered to the time he was treated. Now,
PM Gonsalves said he took interest into the matter to determine if anything went wrong with the management of the care provided to Hope.
For a full report. And when I read the report, I raised the question as to whether or not this patient received the optimal care from the time the patient arrived to the moment of his demise. And that those answers, that the answers to that query can only come through an independent review, because from the reports that I saw, when I posed the question, it wasn't clear to me reading it, because I'm not a medical doctor.
The investigation should be complete sometime in February, but PM Gonsalves said he is not yet sure if the result will be made public. Hope was shot on December 29th and underwent surgery at the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital. Family members claim that a pair of forceps was left inside his abdomen, which was revealed during an x-ray, and they claim this played a role in his death. However, an autopsy was carried out and it was found that Hope died as a result of complications due to gunshot hypovolemia. Hypovolemia is a decreased volume of circulation of blood in the body. His family members say they will not accept this and will be waiting on their lawyers Israel Bruce to determine their next step. At today's media briefing, PM Gonzalez reminded health professionals that patients have rights and responsibilities, which are enshrined in the recently launched charter.
And we just await to hear what this review, this independent review, take place, so that everybody, nurses, doctors, everybody, every health professional who is treating patients must know that the patients have rights. This is no longer the age when you say that medicine is something which you practice only in private. As you notice, I'm careful in circumscribing my remarks.
Local soca superstar Gamal's Skinny Fabulous Doyle is now a member of the Martello Cognac family as a brand ambassador. Doyle signed a contract to part of the Martel families last Friday, January the 17th in Trinidad and Tobago at Massey Distributions Limited, which is a distributor of the brand in the Twin Island Republic. Martel Cognac is a cognac house founded in 1750 by Jean Martel. It is part of the Martel Montpremier Juve subsidiary of the French wines and spirits conglomerate Pernod Ricard. Some of Martel's other brand ambassadors are U.S. actress Diane Kruger and South African fashion icon Hussein van Roos. Doyle said he is happy to represent the brand.
Yeah, I think that this signing to Martel will definitely go down as one of the major achievements in my career, to be quite honest. And I am truly happy to be representing our brand with such an amazing product. And really and truly, it's a real easy sell too, because I could confidently say to anyone who tries it really just only takes a sipper, and immediately you would realize how remarkably smooth it is for a cognac. It really goes down smooth, and it's a full-bodied cognac. You know, it tastes really rich. So, I mean, for me, it was an easy decision for me to make, and in the end, I know that they're very careful with the persons that they select to represent the brand, and I'm very honored to be a part of the Martel family, so to speak.
During Friday's signing, Doyle treated persons at the ceremony to a brief freestyle for Martel Cognac using some of his hit songs. Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce says it is time the government face the facts and accept the country is facing a crime crisis. This from the region. When we return, stay with us.
That was a local news segment.
The Ever-Ready Funeral Home at French's is your friend in times of grief. With over 40 years' experience, they are prepared to take care of all your funeral arrangements. Embalming, lowering device service, grave mattresses, carpeting, vaults, tombs, and wreaths. Arrangements for television obituaries. Cremation is available upon request. Ever-Ready Funeral Home offers the finest in caskets and coffins, local and imported. So, in your time of need, call Ever-Ready Funeral Home at any time. 456-1494. Ever-Ready Funeral Home, offering service above self.
Juicy, juicy, drink today. Juicy, juicy, same great taste. Juicy, juicy, the original drink. It's a Vinci thing. Get your red and banana, pineapple, juicy cola, orange or apple. Juicy for you and for your neighbor. It's a Vinci thing. Enjoy it juicy, the original Vinci thing. Juicy.
for way. Super 6 a bigger jackpot game.
Now you'll love Super 6 even more, because every time you spend $6 on Super 6, you get a chance to win 6 times your spend instantly.
Wow!
That's 6 times your spend of $6 on Super 6 for 6 weeks. Now there's more reason to love Super 6. More money, more money, more money.
More jackpot money. More reasons to play this game. More money for way. Super 6 a bigger jackpot game. Super 6, bigger jackpots, more chances to win.
Make no excuse. Claim those fitness goals with a little help from Quartz. Save big on home fitness equipment when you shop with up to 15% off. Plus, get a chance to win a free spin bike. Shop today and pay nothing until March with Quartz Ready Finance. Make no excuses. Shop and win. Only at Quartz. Bringing value home. Conditions apply.
The regional news segment sponsored by Massey Stores SVG Limited.
Massey Stores Pharmacy is the one for you. Is the one for you. We have competitive prices for your prescriptions too. We have 10% off for seniors, children under 3. We're here for your convenience. Prescription services. Leave your prescriptions while you shop. And our professional pharmacists will help you out. Massey Stores Pharmacy. Massey Stores Pharmacy. Where your health is your wealth.
Located at Massey Stores Kingstown. Contact us at 453-9112.
Welcome back. In our news from the region, we hear that the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce says it is time for the government to face the facts and accept there is a crime crisis. Commenting on the National Security Minister's referral to call of a state of emergency in light of the rise in murder count, the chamber said the government needs to face reality. We hear more in this report.
Count climbs. The TNT Chamber of Industry and Commerce says the country is in a crime crisis, responding to National Security Minister Stuart Young's position that the spiraling homicide rate did not require a state of emergency. The chamber stresses the need for urgent action. In a statement issued, the chamber says the government must accept the reality of the situation. It suggests that government seek assistance from CARICOM neighbors who successfully brought down crime upsurges, as well as ensure technology was being fully utilized in the fight against crime. Meanwhile, opposition MP Dr. Rudolph Munilal is again refuting claims by Minister Young that MPs were aligned with members of the criminal underworld. During an interview in the Morning Brew, Minister Young is once again alleging there were members of Parliament engaging with criminals. He also says that the circumstances of some of the crooked relationships were being investigated by the police. But Dr. Munilal is distancing UNC members from the accusations being made by the National Security Minister. He says it was high time the minister shape up or ship out.
He should bring such evidence before the Joint Select Committee, or else if he can't bring the evidence, he ought to remain quiet. I share the view of the newspapers on the weekend that if he cannot bring change and fresh new policies and programs to deal with this matter urgently, he ought to do the right thing and resign. He has been a failure from day one. And he continues with these conspiracy theories that have absolutely no foundation in the truth.
Also weighing in on Minister Young's comments was political leader of the Progressive Party, Nikolai Edwards. He says the National Security Minister continues to miss the mark on crime-fighting strategies.
We want to train our persons in society to lead better lives, to understand conflict resolution, and to know that even the adversarial nature of going to court and settling disputes in those kinds of ways would not necessarily produce the kind of results necessary. We have to be teaching persons the skills, morals, and values. That is the only approach, I think, that will help save this country from further bloodshed and loss of life.
Edwards stresses the importance in investing in social policies and programs as means of ridding the country from the crime scourge.
In Grenada, the government and 2 of the country's trade unions today inked agreements for salary increase for public workers for the period 2020 to 2022. We hear more in this GVN television news report.
Tense negotiations, the Public Workers Union and the Grenada Technical and Allied Workers Union today reached an agreement with government on salary increases for public officers. President General of the Grenada Technical and Allied Workers Union, Andre Lewis, spoke to the media on the outcome of today's meeting.
We have completed the process in terms of reaching the stage of signing for the salary increases for the period 2020 to 2022, as was negotiated jointly between the Technical and Allied Workers Union and the Public Workers Union. And it is our expectation that our members will get the increase as we have signed, but most importantly, as the government has been saying, that all who would have made sacrifices over the period and worked in the government service must share in the rewards. And therefore, it is our expectation that all workers, let me repeat, all workers in keeping with the commitment given by the government of Grenada, all the workers who work side by side with the established workers will receive the 4% increase for 2020, the 4% increase for 2021, and 4% increase for 2022. The government has said that all must share in the rewards, and that is what we are trying to insist will happen, and we look forward to that happening.
President of the Public Workers Union, Rachel Roberts, told the media that while they have signed off on that particular agreement, there are a number of issues to be addressed.
As we have signed, we are very concerned that some of our members are not at this moment going to be receiving that 4%. And therefore, we want to say to these members, we are negotiating diligently on the table to ensure that all our members benefit. Government did indicate on the table that all members would be receiving 4%. And as such, we expect, our expectation is that all our members would be receiving that 4%.
As the CARICOM Secretariat moves towards 100% renewable for its headquarters in Georgetown, Guyana, groundbreaking ceremony for the construction of a $16 million photovoltaic power generator system was held on Monday. We hear more in this report.
The project is part of a wider initiative called the Introduction of Renewable Energy and Energy Conservation System in Guyana and CARICOM, being funded by the government of Japan to the tune of US $16 million. CARICOM's Secretary General, Ambassador Erwin Larocque, told the gathering, which included members of the diplomatic community and government ministers, that the event marks a significant milestone for CARICOM and the relationship between Japan and the Caribbean community.
This is the end of a journey which began quite some time ago. The SG has detailed the journey. And where we call the Renewable Initiative and the first energy audit of the Secretariat in 2010, which laid the initial groundwork for the journey which has brought us here today. At that time, we were pursuing energy efficiency. It was an initiative fully supported by the Executive Management Committee, who urged that our headquarters should be a green building as an example to other public buildings in the community.
Dr. Karen Cummings, Minister of Foreign Affairs, expressed gratitude on behalf of the government of Guyana to the government and the people of Japan for the initiative and for their support to Guyana and the Caribbean community.
A project of this nature is concordant with CARICOM's sustainable energy pathway and consistent with Guyana's thrust towards a green economy that envisages a holistic, integrated approach for national development, in which various forms of renewable energy will continue to play an ever-increasing role.
Dr. Cummins added that it is the intention of the government to utilize some of Guyana's oil resources to enable the transformation of the Guyanese economy to include a mix of renewable and more efficient energy sources in the near future.
The first case of a deadly Chinese virus discovered in the U.S. has fear-mongers in China about the possibility of a deadly epidemic. This from the international scene when we return. Stay with us.
It was a regional news segment sponsored by Massey Stores SVG Limited.
Massey Stores Pharmacy is the one for you. Is the one for you. We have competitive prices for your prescriptions too. We have 10% off for seniors. Children under 3, we're here for your convenience. Prescription services, leave your prescriptions while you shop. And our professional pharmacists will help you out. Massey Stores Pharmacy, Massey Stores Pharmacy, where your health is your wealth.
Located at Massey Stores, Kingstown. Contact us at 453-9112.
Singer is your family store. We sell everything you need for your kitchen and more. Top brands and appliances, TVs, fridges, cookers. We make your life so easy. Just come in and see us. A wide range of furniture. Right here at Singer. Affordable beds and mattresses. Right here at Singer. Washing machines to make your laundry clean and fresh. Singer is a family store that gives you the best hire purchase deals. Right here at Singer. We'll outfit your home. Right here at Singer. The #1 family store. It's us with Singer.
26 retail shops and restaurants open now for your convenience. At the cruise ship terminal. At the cruise ship terminal. It's a great venue to run for functions. Secure parking, great ambiance. At the cruise ship terminal. At the cruise ship terminal.
Convenient parking at the Kingstown Cruise Ship Terminal and the Geese Compound. The Kingstown Cruise Ship Terminal has 26 retail shops and restaurants with a variety of food offerings. A great secure venue for your function with a great ambience. Also, we offer lock storage service. The Cruise Ship Terminal. Convenience for you.
At the cruise ship terminal. The cruise ship terminal.
Make no excuse. Claim those fitness goals with a little help from Quartz. Save big on home fitness equipment when you shop with up to 15% off. Plus, get a chance to win a free spin bike. Shop today and pay nothing until March with Quartz Ready Finance. Make no excuses. Shop and win. Only at Quartz. Bringing value home. Conditions apply.
SVG-TV International News segment sponsored in part by Courez Distribution Limited.
For over 60 years, we have sought only the best beans grown in the lush hills of the Andean mountains of Colombia. Cold Cafe. We carefully select only the very best beans and roast them to delicious perfection by our experienced roast masters. Cold Cafe. Cold Cafe treats you to one of the finest coffees in the world. Available in classic and decaffeinated. A rich flavor and aroma that can only come from 100% Colombian coffee. Cold Cafe. Indulge yourself in our delicious cappuccinos available in classic mocha and French vanilla. Enjoy them hot to warm your soul or cool to cool you down. Either way, they are incredibly satisfying. So go ahead, enjoy Cold Cafe and treat yourself.
Let's go further afield now. The U.S. has reported its first confirmed case of the deadly Wuhan coronavirus, revealing that a traveler returned from China had been diagnosed by authorities in Seattle. The Centers for Disease Control, the nation's preeminent health institute, says the man in his 30s was taken to hospital last week after suffering with pneumonia. In China, the mysterious respiratory virus has killed at least 6 people and sickened more than 200, fueling fears about the possibility of a deadly epidemic as millions prepare to travel for the Lunar New Year holiday. We hear more in this report.
At each turning point, it gets worse. A mystery virus they'd hoped to contain, but one we now know can jump from human to human, at a time when humans are uniquely on the move. Hundreds of millions of people are making journeys around the country for Chinese New Year.
Of course I'm worried, and the virus may spread further all of a sudden. If cross-infection happens during this spring travel period, the epidemic will be terrible.
And if China sneezes, the world is worried about catching more than a cold. International airports, like this one in Tokyo, are already taking preemptive measures to prevent the spread. In Hong Kong, the lessons of the SARS epidemic of 2002 to 2003 mean scientists understand the potential danger of this virus, which is a close relative.
It is absolutely critical that public health authorities recognize a super spreading event in the very earliest stages, before it goes absolutely explosive.
SARS killed nearly 800 people, and it still casts a shadow. Chinese authorities covered up the scale of the epidemic and took 2 months to give access to experts from the World Health Organization. Not this time, though, according to the same organization.
China quickly identified this new virus and shared genetic sequence with everyone else, which helped other countries to put a diagnostic test.
Chinese state media has also put the story front and center, and the President Xi Jinping has made a personal statement, vowing to curb the spread of the mystery virus.
Overnight, really, the leadership here in Beijing and Chinese state media has gone into overdrive. What they're doing is try and demonstrate the work that is already being carried out, according to outside experts, to combat this epidemic. But they're also trying to reassure a Chinese public that is skeptical, if not downright distrustful, of how government handles these sort of crises, especially after the SARS epidemic. And beyond that, doing everything they can to prevent a panic.
The World Health Organization will meet tomorrow to discuss whether the outbreak should be declared an international health emergency. But it will take much longer, weeks, even months, to know the scale of this epidemic.
Meanwhile, back in the U.S., medical experts are placed at 3 major airports to screen passengers arriving from central China. The health screenings are done at JFK, LAX in Los Angeles, and at San Francisco Airport in hopes of preventing the spread of mysterious coronavirus strain. Well, that's the news. Sports is just ahead, but before that, let's take a look at the local weather forecast.
SVG-TV International News segment was sponsored in part by Carez Distribution Limited.
Let's go! Turn up the fun! With Chocolisto and its great flavor, enriched with vitamins and minerals that help you grow. Chocolisto makes you big and strong.
The weather report sponsored in part by General Hardware, Budgemart Limited.
Listen, the big hardware stores have been ripping off Vincentians for years with their high prices. They came General Hardware with the lowest prices ever in SVG. Now, the big guys are scrambling to drop their prices, but they still can't beat the General. So don't let them fool you. General Hardware still has the best prices on lumber, plywood, and steel. And even with a sale, the General beats that too. So go on, compare prices. Then come to General Hardware and save dollars every day. Because nobody beats the General. Nobody. General Hardware Supplies, located next to Yvette's Pork City in Arnesville. Call 453-9000.
Bebin, the diaper made with the very best for the very best. Keeps up with them on the go. With a wetness indicator, Bebin keeps your child dry and happy. For quality and affordability, choose Bebin every time.
Bebin Premium.
Let's take a look at the local weather forecast. Conditions cloudy and breezy. Winds northeast at 17 kilometers per hour. Temperature 26.2 degrees Celsius. Relative humidity 79%. Barometric pressure 1012.3 millibars. 24-hour rainfall 2.9 millimeters. Today's maximum temperature 28 degrees Celsius. Today's minimum temperature 22.7 degrees Celsius. Sunset today at 6 p.m. and sunrise tomorrow at 6:31 a.m. Forecast, partly cloudy to occasionally cloudy with some scattered showers. And a synopsis, a surface to low level shear line is affecting the islands.
The weather report was sponsored in part by General Hardware, Budgemart Limited.
Bebin, the diaper made with the very best for the very best. Keeps up with them on the go. With a wetness indicator, Bebin keeps your child dry and happy. For quality and affordability, choose Bebin every time.
Bebin Premium.
Your home is a long-term investment, including most of its features. So when purchasing windows, ensure to acquire a superior product like Kendra's double-sliding heavy-duty window, optional burglar bars, protective insect screens, rubber-sealed thick glass, stainless steel tracking system and rollers, secure and durable locking system on both panels. Inferior products on the market fail to secure your home effectively. So be on alert for inferior imitation. Key things to avoid are problematic latching locks, a poor tracking system, making daily operation of your windows difficult and sometimes impossible. Poorly built insect screens, glued on copycat designs, thin and easy to break glass. Always choose the affordable brand from Kendra's Aluminum Windows and Products, built on a tradition of excellence. Bereavement or loss of life in your family could come as a shock. That's why it's important to always focus on the things that made you happy and the memories that you shared. At Memorial Funeral Home, our warm and friendly staff ensures that your experience is a pleasant one. Our sensitive staff is understanding, caring, and all-knowing when it comes to selecting your underground furniture and the things that you need to celebrate life.
Well, I am a furniture manufacturer and I manufacture furniture for all purposes. At this time, I am interested in manufacturing some underground furniture. You can purchase these underground furniture at the Memorial Funeral Home in Metzpo.
So call us at 458-8888 or 530-5694 and let's celebrate life.
Welcome to the evening sports. While praising the standards of the pitch that facilitated a high-quality contest, Windward Islands Volcanoes head coach Andrew Richardson conceded that they might have erred in opting to enforce the follow-on against Jamaican Scorpions. The second-round regional four-day cricket match at Sabina Park ended in a draw on Sunday, with the Volcanoes 155 for 5 in search of a 238 runs for victory. The visitors dominated most of the encounter after rattling up 387 when they lost the toss and were instructed to take the first strike on a pitch covered with live grass. The Scorpions' underwhelmingly first innings reply of 220 left them 167 runs adrift. And though the Volcanoes had to toil in the blazing sunshine for almost 70 overs to claim those 10 wickets, they ran a risk of fatigue when they chose to let the Scorpions have a second straight crack. Richardson, the Jamaican-born former fast bowler, told the Jamaica Observer, "I won't say it, enforcing the follow-on is a regret, but looking back we probably should have given our bowlers a little more time to rest. But we still have a position from which we could have won the game." The Scorpions are 5th in the 6-team league standings with 14.8 points, while the Volcanoes are 2nd with 29.4 points. Trinidad and Tobago Red Force are out front with 29.6 points, while Barbados Pride 25.6 points are 3rd position, followed by defending 5-time champions Guyana Jaguars 24.8 points. Leeward Islands Hurricanes are back at the pack with 4.2 points. England sealed their biggest win in more than 9 years in the third test against South Africa to move up to 1 in the one match left in the series. Needing 4 wickets in the 5th morning, the tourists bowled the Proteas out for 237 to seal victory by an innings and 53 runs. From 102 for 6 overnight, still 188 short of making England bat again, South Africa's margin of defeat could have been even greater had it not been for Keshav Maharaj, who clubbed 71. In a freewheeling 10-wicket stand of 99 with Dane Patterson, Maharaj at one stage took 45 runs from 14 deliveries. Before that, England's progress had been serene. Just as he did on Sunday, Stuart Broad removed Varun Philander in the first over of the day, before Mark Wood had Kaigo Rabada caught on mid-on and Dumbest bowled Archie Noche. However, what started Maharaj and Patterson trying their luck turned into genuine frustration for England, with the ball disappearing to all parts of the field, scattered all over. It was eventually ended when Maharaj attempted a single to mid-on, failing to beat a Sam Curran throw at the hit at non-striker stumps. England will win the series if they avoid defeat in the 4th test in Johannesburg, which begins on Friday. The San Francisco 49ers defeated the Green Bay Packers 37-20 to win the NFC Championship and will now play the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl 54 on the 2nd of February in Miami. Mahir Mostarat won 4 touchdowns as the 49ers took control, with the Packers, who trailed 27-0 at halftime, scoring 2 Aaron Jones touchdowns and another from Jace Sternberger. The Chiefs beat the Tennessee Titans 35-24 in the AFC Championship game earlier on Sunday to secure a first Super Bowl appearance in 50 years. This will be the 49ers' first Super Bowl since 2013 when they lost 34-31 to the Baltimore Ravens in New Orleans. The evening sports will continue in a moment. Stay with us.
My sister's pharmacy is the one for you. Is the one for you. We have competitive prices for your prescriptions too. We have 10% off for seniors, children under 3. We're here for your convenience. Prescription services. Leave your prescriptions while you shop. And our professional pharmacists will help you out. Massey Stores Pharmacy. Massey Stores Pharmacy. Where your health is your wealth.
Located at Massey Stores, Kingstown. Contact us at 453-9112.
Let's face it, things don't always go according to plan. Sometimes things go wrong, and sometimes things break. So whether you're a beginner or a pro, Gibson's Building Supplies has what you need. So it doesn't matter if it's heavy hardware or light hardware, we've got it all. So whether you can or you can't, we've got something you need. So come on in to Gibson's Building Supplies today.
Make no excuse. Claim those fitness goals with a little help from Quartz. Save big on home fitness equipment when you shop with up to 15% off. Plus get a chance to win a free spin bike. Shop today and pay nothing until March with Quartz Ready Finance. Make no excuses. Shop and win. Only at Quartz. Bringing value home. Conditions apply.
Welcome back. The Los Angeles Lakers suffered their heaviest loss of the NBA season on Monday, while Ben Simmons and Damian Lillard inspired victories with stunning performances. LeBron James and Anthony Davis featured from the start, but the Lakers never got going in a heavy 139-107 defeat to the Boston Celtics. Jason Tatum registered a game-high 27 points to help the Celtics teammate Kemba Walker celebrate his first career win against superstar James at the 29th attempt. Meanwhile, Joel Embiid's absence through injury failed to hurt the Philadelphia 76ers, as Simmons shone in a 117-111 road victory over the slumping Brooklyn Nets. Simmons enjoyed one of the best games of his career, posting a triple-double with 34 points, 12 rebounds and 12 assists, plus 5 steals. There was similar joy elsewhere for Damian Lillard, who erupted with a career best of 61 points, including 11 three-pointers as the Portland Trail Blazers overcame the Golden State Warriors 129-124 in overtime thriller. The Ministry of Education, National Reconciliation and Information, in collaboration with Team Athletics SVG and the Ministry of Sports, yesterday launched the 2020 Schools Athletic Season. The activities this year will feature basketball, cricket as well as volleyball, and the main events, the inter-primary and inter-secondary track and field championships. Education Officer with responsibility for sport and physical education, Rosamond Griffith, outlined the sporting activities which for the first time will run into the third term of the academic year.
We're going to kick off this Thursday, the 23rd of January, with our inter-secondary schools cross-country event, and that would take place at the E.T. Joshua Tomat in Annisville. On the 30th of January, we also have the inter-secondary school road relay activity just coming back on stream. That activity should start from the Spring Garden Bridge to Annisville, beginning at 1 with the female and 1:30 with the males. For the inter-primary, heat start on the 11th of February. Then we have our second day with Zone B on the 13th of February, Zone C on the 18th of February, and Zone D on the 19th of February. All these heats will be taking place at the Cyan Hill playing field. In March, we move on to the inter-secondary school heats. The 11th of March, we have the female heats, the track events, and we have the male field events heats. On the 12th of March, we have the reverse, the male track event and the female field events. The track events would take place at the Sign Hill playing field, while the field events would be at the Annisfield 2 playing field. The finals for the competitions would take place on the 16th and 17th of March. Of April, sorry. No. Thursday and Friday, the 16th and 17th of April, and that would take place at the Annisfield 1 playing field.
The inter-primary and inter-secondary track and field championships were initially scheduled for March 25th and 26th. However, the championships were pushed back to April 16th and 17th as a result of the CONCACAF Nations League game, when SVG senior men's team, Vincy Heat, will do battle with Royal Loop at the Arnersville Sporting Complex on March the 31st. Technical Director of Team Athletics SVG Phil Jeffers said this year's Athletics Championship will be conducted according to the World Athletics regulations. He also indicated that in preparation for the athletics season, they will recently concluded a 4-day training workshop for technical officials, where 37 persons took part in and 35 completed the exams and were successful.
Make sure that our technical officials are on par and up to speed with the new technical regulations so that they are better to officiate the games when they do come around. We also want to let you know that all the technical aspects of the sport would be run according to World Athletics, which was formerly IAAF, rules and regulations. So that is what we would use for the tournament. We are asking the schools to ensure that when they do record the times, that they put proper timing, date of birth, names of the athletes and the events. Also to ensure that the names of the athletes are correctly spelled, their date of birth is attached, so that we would be able to ensure that the persons are running within their designated category.
And that's how we end sports this evening. We'll be right back to wrap things up.
More jackpot money, more reasons to play this game. More money for way. Super 6 a bigger jackpot game.
Now you love Super 6 even more. With more money to the jackpot galore.
Win more, have more fun.
With more jackpot money, Super 6 is my number one.
With the new and improved Super 6 team, the jackpot keeps growing and growing and growing.
More jackpot money, more reasons to play this game. More money for way. Super 6 a bigger jackpot game. Super 6, bigger jackpots, more chances to win.
In the event of a storm, there can be flooding, landslides, and lightning strikes. Are you protected? What about a hurricane, an earthquake, volcanic eruption, tsunami, or even a bushfire? Are you protected? Century Insurance protects you, your family, your home, your business. Talk to one of our friendly agents today. Call our Kingstown office at 456-2247 or Beckway 458-3030. Call Century Insurance. We can protect you. Century Insurance, upstairs the first St. Vincent Bank building in Kingstown.
Make no excuse. Claim those fitness goals with a little help from Quartz. Save big on home fitness equipment when you shop with up to 15% off. Plus, get a chance to win a free spin bike. Shop today and pay nothing until March with Quartz Ready Finance. Make no excuses. Shop and win. Only at Quartz. Bringing value home. Conditions apply.
And now for a second look at the headlines. Groundbreaking ceremony held for Royal Mail SVG Resort and residents. Some 200 Vincentians expected to be employed during the construction phase. TNT Chamber of Industry and Commerce says it is time the government face the facts and accept the country is facing a crime crisis. First case of deadly Chinese virus discovered in the U.S. as fear mounts in China about the possibility of a deadly epidemic. And in sports, Windward Islands Volcanoes coach regrets enforcing follow-on in their match against the Jamaica Scorpions. On behalf of all of us here at SVG-TV, thanks for viewing. I'm Bob Alver. Don't forget to visit our Facebook page for a recap of the news and daily headlines. Also tune in for SVG-TV's News in 15 at 12:45 p.m. weekdays. Have a good evening.
Unique upholstery, quality at a low cost. We build to suit your needs. Contact us at Redemption Shops 457-0182 or Stony Grounds 453-2089.
Listen, the big hardware stores have been ripping off Incentions for years with their high prices. They call General Hardware with the lowest prices ever in SVG. Now, the big guys are scrambling to drop their prices, but they still can't beat the General. So don't let them fool you. General Hardware still has the best prices on lumber, plywood, and steel. And even with a sale, the General beats that too. So go on, compare prices. Then come to General Hardware and save dollars every day. Because nobody beats the General. Nobody. General Hardware Supplies, located next to Yvette's Pork City in Arnesville. Call 453-9000.
Make no excuse. Claim those fitness goals with a little help from Quartz. Save big on home fitness equipment when you shop with up to 15% off. Plus, get a chance to win a free spin bike. Shop today and pay nothing until March with Quartz Ready Finance. Make no excuses. Shop and win. Only at Quartz. Bringing value home. Conditions apply.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 350 local anywhere calls and texts. With the always-on prepaid plans, all for $24. Keep your number when you switch to St. Vincent's most reliable network. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
You can feel totally normal and still have high blood pressure.